Welcome to the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer panel. First of all, it's great to have you all here. And just to introduce myself real quick, my name is Ethan Sachs. I'm the new movies and TV editor at Wizard Magazine. And it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce two of the pivotal actors in one of my all-time favorite shows. Our first special guest is just one of the most beautiful people on the face of the earth. At least that's what my wife thinks about Nicholas Brendon.
Is your wife here?
She's not here. I wouldn't let her come. And of course, want to bring it on for Clare Kramer, one of my personal favorites, and just one of the most talented and beautiful people on the face of pop culture. Now, I'm going to run around with this microphone. I just find it easier than leaving it in the center. So if you have questions, I want to open it up to the fans first and foremost. That's why you're all here. So just raise your hand and I'll come over, but please no creepy proposals for Claire. She is in fact married. Okay? Anyone? Want to start this off? Okay, in the back.
And in the meantime, we just want to say we've had a really good time at this convention in New York. You guys, the locals and travelers alike, have been very welcoming.
If you had been season 8, which way would you want the storyline to go?
Well, clearly I would have wanted Glory to come back. And as far as the rest of the storyline, I mean, I don't know. What do you're probably better equipped to answer this one than I am.
Probably more lesbianism. More lesbianism. A lot more lesbianism.
All around Xander.
I don't know. We haven't really. You know, we're just actors. You know what I mean? On a good show. So they did a pretty good job with it. You know, did Buffy and Angel have sex in outer space or something like that?
Not quite. You didn't quite make it out of the atmosphere.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's good to know. Yeah, no, if they're having sex up in the air, then everything is going A-okay, in my opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's sex with a girl too, so why?
Yeah, whoa. Sex with a girl.
Oh.
That one. Claire, what's it like?
Well.
Okay. Did someone raise their hand here or no?
No.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the season 8 comic book. You've heard about it, obviously. Have you followed it at all? Your character at the end of the 7th season is kind of a little, brokenhearted. He lost his future wife. It's kind of a little bit of a sad ending for you. But when the comic book opens,
Does he even discuss it? Does he even talk about it in the comic?
not really, no. But you're like sort of this watcher in charge of thousands of Slayers. It's kind of a promotion, nice eye patch too. And
Yeah.
yeah. So did you kind of feel at the end of season 7 though that you would have liked a happier ending for Xander?
It wasn't happy. I don't think it's not. Joss isn't particularly big on happy endings, So, and honestly, I think when we had finished that, I think we all kind of thought that it would kind of carry on in some way, shape, or form, and it looks like the comic is the way that it's going to kind of carry on. So, I don't think did anyone end up happy at the end of it. It was, yeah. I mean, so I couldn't. I think it's fine. I mean, it's not like I was going to marry her. She just died. Whoops.
Claire, I want to ask you something really quickly.
Okay.
You often, like in Bring It On, and you always play these mean characters, one who's dedicated to destruction of our dimension.
Yes.
Yet you're one of the nicest, from all indications, you're just one of the nicest people. Do you ever, when you get a script that calls for you to be this just mean-hearted, evil person, just wonder why you keep getting these offers?
No, no. Actually, when I read new material and I'm considering it, I gravitate towards roles that are not necessarily like my personality in real life, because it gives, as an actor, it gives you a chance to express things that you normally wouldn't. when you go through your everyday life. Social conditioning in you know, the suspension of disbelief in cinema and television, it's just thrown out the window. And so as an actor and as a person, you get to kind of explore those sides of yourself that you never really acknowledge. Or at least I don't, you know, some people tap into that in their real life and they usually end up in jail. But no, I definitely gravitate towards those roles. Although recently I have been playing a lot more kind of girl next door type characters, and I've been kind of itching for something more challenging, so.
Do you find that playing the bitch is more challenging than playing the girl next door?
No, I think playing the normal girl next door is a lot more challenging because you almost have to just be kind of plain, you know? And that's, to me, being natural in acting is kind of a given, you know? And so I don't, it's interesting, all characters are interesting and you can always like explore, no matter what the script is or how bad the material is, and this is a lesson I've learned from years and years of auditioning, you can always find something rewarding about getting a chance to delve into a character, even if it's only for, you know, an audition or a short run of a play or whatever. But yeah, the evil ones are definitely more fun.
Can you each tell us how you first got involved with Buffy, like how you were picked for your role?
Claire?
Oh, well, my story's not that exciting. I went in and I auditioned, and it was just 2 pages of nondescript dialogue, and I think the character was called Sherry or Cherry when I auditioned. So it was very, nondescript. They didn't want to reveal, the network didn't want to reveal any of their concepts or ideas, I think, for the season, which I don't think they even really knew at the time. They just knew they wanted to try out a crazy character, and they hired me per episode, so I don't think, I was always like, am I going to get fired after this one? I better do a good job, you know?
How many episodes did you do?
I think it was 13 or 14, of the season.
Right.
Yeah. So I was constantly, you know, wondering if I would be back or if this was it.
I also auditioned for the role of Sherry.
Yes, I'm glad I beat you out.
I'm trying to think of how it all went down. It was my first pilot season ever, and a thing called pilot season where they cast all the pilots. And I was acting for like 2 months, and I had a general audition with the head of casting for the WB network, and it was at the end of pilot season, and I finally get the script for Buffy, and I went in and pre-read with the casting director, and she gave me a note. She's like, you know, you're gonna have a call back to meet Joss like later on that day, and she gave me a note, and I'm like, okay, I took it. So I go in to meet Joss and Gail Berman and all the people that were associated with the show, and I'm just kind of like just being myself and kind of joking around, and then I do I perform the audition as was noted by the casting director, and Joss is like, he's like, stop. He's like, that guy who came in here, do it that way. And I look at her and I'm like, that's the way I did it before, and you told me not to do it that way. So I did it like that guy, and then I found out that I was testing for it later on that day. And it was a situation where you had to test for like the suits at Warner Bros. It was at Fox Studios first, and then, which was on a Friday, and then the test at the WB was on a Monday. So there was like 6 of us at the Fox test, and they let
Whittled it down.
They let 2 go, and I just barely made it. And the Fox studio said, you know, watch him. He seemed really nervous. And then when I went to the WB, that was a horrible weekend, by the way. Just a lot of stomach problems.
A lot of stress.
And then went to the WB, and it was me and this other guy, and I was actually the second choice. And the test was actually in that office where I had the general meeting with the head of casting. So I felt really comfortable right away and nailed it. And then I went out, and we were probably in that like waiting room for like 20 minutes and just kind of looking at each other. And then the casting director came out and said, Nicholas, you can go home. We're going to torture him one more time. And they gave him another opportunity because I had kind of hopscotched him at that point now to the first choice. So since he was first choice coming in, they allowed him to do it one more time to see if he could match me. He didn't. I got the call that Tuesday. I was going to get an omelet, the omelet parlor, and like it was back in the day of pagers, and my manager was like, you know,
It beat me.
911, 911, 911. So I pull over to a gas station and like on Lincoln Boulevard in Venice, and it's just her, like she's like a New York Jew. You got it, you got it, you got it. And I start crying, and she's crying. And it was a good breakfast.
How about you guys? Question?
Nicholas, what was your favorite Buffy episode, and what was your least favorite episode, and why?
My favorite episode, you know, I think just on merit. It's probably it's Once More with Feeling, I think, and Hush too. My least favorite, I remember Beer Bad being really bad, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like a heavy Xander episode. So it was nice that was. I mean, and I think it's commonly known that Beer Bad is the worst episode probably in television history. And then I remember in season 1 we did like a Frankenstein type thing, and though I one of my favorite lines I think was in that episode where I'm like, yeah, something about, well, he's got a fairly prodigious porn collection. But yeah, I think Beer Bad is. And then I just wasn't really a fan of the end. I wasn't a fan of all those Slayers. I really, you know, it was just hard to. I actually looked at the box set of season 7 and then a picture of like the girls and like doing this weird kind of, like, you know, I'm like, shut up, that's not. But I'm gonna go with Beer Bad. That's all I gotta say.
What was the one episode that took the longest to film?
You know, we were supposed to finish them all in 8 days, but it never happened. We would, you know, we had the 8 days to shoot, and then you're doing second unit, you know, like you'll go off in like splitter units. But I think Once More with Feeling, because it was the longest episode. It was like, I think 56 minutes total, which normally hour-long show is 44 minutes. So, you know, we were working on that for a long time, and also we had to go to dance rehearsal, then we had to go into the studio and record, you know, so that probably took about 3 weeks, which is pretty amazing, looking at the end result. I love it.
Sorry, just walk right in.
Hi. Xander never had superpowers, but if he did, what should they have been?
I think it's what if I had a superpower, what would it be? Because, you know, if I were a criminal, it would be that video cameras couldn't capture my image.
You were translucent.
Not that. I mean, I'm fair. Video cameras just can't.
But two, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Robin Banks. Yes.
Yes.
But I would like to put my hand on a book and gain all the knowledge out of it. That's what I would love to do. Pop, 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 pop.
How about you, Claire?
How about me? I guess I don't know. I mean, you start. The book thing's good, I gotta say.
Thanks. I haven't thought much about it at all.
Yeah, no, apparently not. I guess, I don't know. I mean,
China and Todd.
yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
Are you going to really get back to it? I mean,
maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe. Ask
Okay.
at the end of the Q&A.
Or if you haven't, give us your email. And she'll email you.
There's for every pro there is to a superpower, there's a huge con.
What's the con of the book knowledge?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why it's a
Why
good
don't you get
one.
back to me?
You might accidentally touch Twilight.
But there's no knowledge in that. So
If you could do more work with like musicals, would you?
Weasels?
Musicals?
Singing weasels, that would be amazing. I would love to do more musical stuff. I really had a great time doing it. And I've really kind of, I've given it to the universe too, but the universe is saying no right now, so.
Hi, thanks for coming. It's really good to see you guys. Buffy would not be as great a show as it was without the Xander character. I mean, you just brought so much to that. You just nailed it. I was curious what you're doing these days because I just keep expecting to see you on anything.
Me
You know,
too.
'cause you're